Well, hi everyone, this is Eve from Promo Mentors, and today we have a very special guest, very famous in the Steemit community. His name is Roeland DP, and he's the organizer and founder of the very famous Steemfest. So, Roeland, hi. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, about your background, where you were born, and where you live now?
Yeah, sure. I'm 37 years old. I live in Amsterdam. I'm in the Netherlands, the capital of the Netherlands. I was born in the south of Holland, on a small peninsula. But it's like a small island in a small village. And my parents have a windmill. They and a pancake restaurant, and they make their own pancakes with the wheat grown by how do you say, processed by the windmill. I don't know why I tell this, but I'm really proud that my parents have a pancake restaurant. And yeah, I studied hotel school in The Hague. It's a town in the south of Holland, a city. And then I slowly got a computer because we needed a computer for Excel sheets, obviously. And then when I got this laptop from school, I had to pay it with down payments. So every month I had to pay €100 for the laptop. And after 4 years, I had paid off the laptop. It was completely worthless, obviously, because after 4 years, it was a super slow computer. But I didn't use it only for Excel sheets, but also for making websites. And this is how I slowly got into the whole internet. So.
Okay.
Yeah, so then I started making, instead of making a living as a waiter serving people, I actually built websites, and then from that I started making mobile apps, and then on it went.
Very interesting. So how and when did you get into the blockchain?
So this hotel school was happening from 1996. And obviously there wasn't the blockchain then, but then I started really to work with internet related, into the internet. So being in the internet for 15 years or something, and being active in the internet for 15 years, making mobile apps, making websites, I always knew about, from the introduction onwards, I knew about Bitcoin, and then later for Litecoin, and I had installed once a Bitcoin wallet, and I had installed once a Litecoin wallet. I even mined some Litecoin when it was still possible on the laptop, but obviously I forgot about it, and I lost the key. I never thought about it anymore. So then I thought, yeah, I should do something with it. Also, when our kid was born 2 years ago, I wanted to start a web shop for the first time, because I'm in the internet. I should minimally run a web shop, right? I've been active in the internet so long, so I should do a web shop. And then that was also the thing I had with... Is it me, the noise? Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
Okay. And then I also had the same thing about blockchain. So 3.5 years ago, I thought, no, 2.5 years ago, I thought, okay, I really got to do something now with that. So I bought a couple of GPU, and we put in the small room next to the kitchen. We put I put a small mining rig for Ethereum. So then it was very warm. We didn't have to turn on the drying machine anymore, because it was also really powered.
Costly.
And then I mined, I think, 100 Ether, and I sold them really quickly instead of waiting, obviously. But that was like half a year before Steem launched, or yeah.
Okay, well that leads me to my second question. I was going to ask, when did you hear about Steemit and Steem? So
yeah, so it would have been way cooler if when I started mining Ethereum, because then also the Steem was already out, but I didn't know about it. But it would have been way cooler if I would have found out back then, and instead put all my efforts in Steem when I started mining Ethereum. Because around the time our son was born, also the Steem blockchain started in 2016 in March. And it was then when I started mining Ethereum. So I heard about Steem 1 week after the first payouts. A couple of friends of mine, they were already active on the platform a couple of months before the payout. We found out about it through the announcement on Bitcoin Talk, and they shared it on Facebook. So
Okay.
then I went to the trending page, saw all these thousands of dollar signs, and I didn't understand it. And the only thing I could conclude was, okay, so you share a link, or you write a post, and then you get the money. Okay, I'll try it. And then I wrote the introduction, which was related to the web shop. I started, and then actually I started posting content, which was also, I think I even posted some plagiarized content. Even posted some pictures that weren't mine, because it was like kind of a wild west back then. But already really fast, people said, "Hey, don't do that. Make your own content." And I also found, and I didn't make any money out of it, but yeah. So that was really good that people pointed me out to that, and then I thought, okay, what can I do? What can I do? And I make apps, right? I like to develop Steem, and Steem had some very easy endpoints where it's pretty easy to build on top of the knowledge I already had, because the development tools are really easy to build stuff on top of Steem. There's not a big learning curve. So then I thought, okay, I know something which would be really cool, and it was like a waterfall, where you could see the activity of the Steem network in real time. So you would see all the transactions, upvotes, all the people joining, all the operations happening in real time. And I thought that could be really cool, because everybody is writing about just blogging, right, sharing blog posts. But I thought, if I make a nice app and then share that I made that app, I might have a chance to actually hit the trending page. And so I did it, and I did it for a couple of nights and made that app. It's called Steem Stream. You can still look it up.
Okay.
And yeah, I said to my girlfriend, okay, this is really going to work. So, and then after 3 or 4 nights, it was finished, and I published it. And I published an article about it. So then it was not really about writing a nice story or a tutorial, but it was just basically announcing that I made an app. So I was kind of abusing, well, not abusing, but it's not the core, right? It's not about writing. It's not about the content itself. So the app got the upvotes through the blockchain, and it got to the #1 trending. So then I was like, yes, it worked, and I was really happy. And well, I still think that was the moment that more people saw, hey, you can build apps and then also get rewarded. And yeah, so from one app came the other. I made a couple of other cool, or at least I think they're cool. And then really fast, other people started making apps. So then I made an app overview page. And yeah, it's all morphed from that first app, actually.
Okay. Wow, what a journey. So how did you go from apps to Steemfest? So what made you want to organize Steemfest?
So as I told you just before, I studied hotel school. So I do have, actually, so the last year in the hotel school, you have to do an internship, right? Mm-hmm. Normally people would go to a hotel, somewhere to a big hotel branch, I don't know, Four Seasons or whatever, or work for Disneyland. But I was already quite, well, okay, I had seen the whole hotel business. It was not really aligning with what I wanted to do in my life. So I already had asked at school if I can do my internship somewhere else. And it was at a festival. It's an arts festival. It's called 2 Days Art. It's actually happening again this weekend in The Hague. It's an international festival for arts and technology. And I was responsible for marketing and doing the website and all the social media, the was not so much social media back then. So that got me more and more into this event business. I worked for them for 2 years full-time and 2 years part-time. And well, due to the background of the hotel school, organizing events is kind of hospitality industry as well. So I do have a background in organizing events. And when I got more and more into, after 4 years, I quit that job because it's not a commercial event, so it's funded by subsidies. And I was moving more and more into the internet and making mobile apps. So I thought, okay, maybe somebody else should take my job, and let's move on. But still, I organize smaller events like hackathons for well, a group of nerds coming together for a weekend. And yeah, and also actually the whole Steem community really felt well, it just feels like you're getting connected with people from all over the world through your blog posts, having conversations under these posts, but also on Steam chat back then. Nowadays more on Discord. But you have all these interactions with people from all over the world, and you get to know them, right? And to me, that really felt the same as with the early days of Twitter. 15 years ago, Twitter was really new, and we had this small group of 15, 12 years ago. And you had this small group of early adopters of Twitter, and they didn't know each other only through their conversations online, but you shared these stupid small things about, I'm now going to the dentist to get my wisdom tooth or whatever, I don't know. It was just, so then there was the first real life Twitter meetup. And then you got to meet all these people. You already knew so much about them. It was like you meet all these friends, but you'd never met them in real life. But it was just this new weird social interaction, and it really worked out because everybody was super happy because they already had the initial, there was no more, the initial start off, the breaking the ice had already happened. Yeah. So a really meaningful relationship started from that. And to me, that was what I really felt with Steem, and still feel with Steem, but that was why I thought, okay, there were already Steem meetups happening, but I thought it would be cool to have really people from all over the world, and I'm just going to propose it. And I asked Steemit Inc. I reached out to Ned, and Dan was still there then, and I reached out to him and to them, and I asked, I would like to do something. Are you guys already thinking of something like this? And they said, yeah, we've discussed something like this, but we don't have the time because we're really into developing the blockchain itself, and we're focusing our efforts into developing the platform and the blockchain. But if you want to do it, we will be happy to help, monetary-wise and promotion-wise. So then I thought, okay, let's just do it and see. I first reached out to some people, asking them if I would organize this, would you come, and what would make you come, and so testing grounds a little bit. And then after I had about 70% who was really looking positive towards it, and then 10 weeks from announcing, or maybe 8 weeks, 10 weeks, and then it happened in Amsterdam, and there was 200 people coming, and it was crazy, and yeah, that's how it started actually.
That's great, and now it's by far the biggest yearly event on the Steemit platform. So you did a great job. So I was going to ask you. So you said 200 people joined, yes, in Amsterdam the first time.
Yeah, I have the ticket shop, which I still use the same ticket shop, so it's really cool to see. It also has some analytics. I think it's 208 people were in Amsterdam, 311 in Lisbon. I don't know what's going to be this year. Obviously, the first 2 years had a gigantic support from Steemit Inc., which really helped lower the prices it's to a bizarre low level compared to what you get for the amount you have to pay. This year, the sponsorships, also due to the bear market, are a bit more moderate, but still very generous, and I'm happy with everybody sponsoring, including Steemit Inc., who is still the lead sponsor of the event.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really happy with everybody sponsoring because it actually enables to lower the ticket price. That said, the sponsorships are down, so the ticket price is a bit up compared to previous 2 years, but still the people can still get heavily discounted tickets thanks to these sponsors.
Okay.
Yeah, what did you ask again?
No, I was going to ask, so this year is going to be in Krakow in Poland. What made you choose this location for this year?
Yeah, so the idea with Steemfest is to have it traveling every time in another city. So I really like when you go to a conference, because it still is kind of a conference, but it's not the only reason, it's more like a global meetup. Most of the time, if you go to a conference, you just fly into a city, then you go 3 days to a hotel, you're sitting inside this hotel, you meet all these people from all over the world, but you don't actually see the city where you are going to. You just go into a building, okay, city is around you, but yeah. And then you go again back home. If you're smart, you stay for a while and enjoy the city or whatever. But I really like to mix both conference and doing the city trip itself. So the whole trip itself becomes like a holiday meets conference, and so that's the origin behind having Steemfest, going to a different city every time. And also I would like to enable people coming from all over the world. So ideally I would like to have Steemfest also in other continents happening. So the idea originally was here to do it in the US, but it just turned out to become such an expensive endeavor that the minimum ticket price would have been $1,000 minimally, which would be excluding so many people.
Yeah.
Not in the least because of the Schengen visa is difficult. The European visa is difficult, but it's still way more relaxed
than the US one.
US visa. So,
yeah.
That, and then so first looking into US, there was like exploding. The whole, to organize it, the whole budget was literally exploding in my face. So then I thought, okay, let's do the opposite. Let's go Krakow. The economy of Poland is pretty affordable, a bit more expensive in the cities, but everywhere. So that was one of the main reasons. So on one hand, it is a nice city, a great place to go to. It is pretty affordable, especially housing. The hotel prices for this year's Steemfest are, well, depending on which hotel you get, it's about 60% of last year's price. Also, the cost price for me per person is actually about 1/5 lower compared to last year. But as I said, the sponsorships are a bit down, so it's not discounted into the final price. But last year was about 660 euros cost price for the whole event per person. This year is 550, more or less, what it costs me into the budget. So if I calculate the amounts of people, also depending on how many people come actually. So yeah, all that together brings us to Krakow this year. And next year, I don't know where it will happen, but that's for next year.
Come to Panama. I'm being selfish right now. Okay, well, great. As you said, it's. I mean, the tickets are a bit more expensive compared to last year, but I mean, I guess it's still more affordable than it would have been in the US. But what do you say, or how do you respond to people who say it's still quite expensive and some Steemians might not be able to make it financially, probably because of, you know, where they're from, and also logistically impossible because of visa issues? Is there any plan in place to help people with lack of funds and visa issues?
Yeah, first off, it's difficult, right? So the world is in, you know, there's inequality in the world. So organizing in US is, well, then you pick the most expensive country. The ticket would have been crazy expensive. Organizing in Krakow, well, the budget is comparable to last year's, except I can offer a little bit more activities in the weekend. So it has a little bit more extra for a little bit lower cost price. Obviously, if Steemfest would be organized in, I mean, there are a couple of events in Nigeria happening.
Mm-hmm.
What the people can do there for, I mean, for, I don't know, maybe 10% of the whole Steemfest budget is crazy. So there is inequality, and I can see why people still say that it might be expensive. Even in Europe, there is inequality. I mean, if you want to come from Bulgaria, well, it's still, well, quite expensive to come to Steemfest. Having said that, what you get for the amount of money you spend is, well, I mean, thanks to the sponsors, currently the cheapest ticket for Steemfest is discounted 50%. Mm-hmm. Of what is the cost price? Normally, the event is not for profit, okay? Because I can make I already get paid through the blockchain through currently being a witness. So normally, if people organize a conference or an event like this, they would do this for profit. Mm-hmm. So then you would have, indeed, for example, there is 1 week prior to Steemfest, there is the Ethereum DevCon happening. A ticket for Ethereum DevCon is €1,000+. And I'm sure that they won't have the whole array of activities, what will be offered to Steemfest. I mean, the cost price for their event per person will not cross my cost price and will include less. Maybe they will have a more fancy venue or better food, I don't know. But what I'm trying to say is that, for example, they have cost price 500, but they sell it for 1,000 because they want to make a profit. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying per se that they are doing that, but most conferences are like this, right? Yeah. So yeah, I can see on one hand that people feel it's expensive looking at what you have in your wallet, but I still think that for what you get, and especially for what it costs to produce it, it is pretty cheap. But yeah, there is still a cost to it, and I'm asking people, I cannot give it away for free. It would be really cool if there would be enough sponsors that people would still need to prepay some money and then they would get it back once they arrive. That would be the most epic. So you just make sure people are actually coming. That would be really cool. I would love to go to that one. If the market explodes next year, who knows? Then it would be really cool to organize it in this way. That the event would be free. Just you need to prepay some money so I know how many people come and that you get it back. That would be super epic, actually. So people can do a couple of things. There are other people who give away tickets through competitions. I recommend to every week check my announcements. On Fridays I post an announcement. And then I always try to list all the tickets which are being given away. Every week there are still people giving away tickets. Always try to join those competitions, right? Mm-hmm. Then there is the community travel fund. It's called Travel Reimbursement Fund. It's at T-R-F account, TRF, with dashes in between, on Steam. People who are free to donate money to it. And what this fund does is everybody who arrives in Krakow can apply for the fund at the event. So you just leave your username and then where you came from, you show your ticket, and afterwards the event calculates how many people applied, how many miles you traveled, and then just distributes that fund to light up your travel costs. And then obviously you are not obliged to stay in the hotels I made a deal with. You could stay in an Airbnb or in a hostel. Krakow has cheaper options to stay. Yeah, I would still recommend you join and buy a Steemfest ticket to join for the main event, the Thursday and Friday. But you could still go to Art at Steemfest for free on Saturday. But yeah, if you want to join in on the conference days or in the evening events, I would just recommend to buy a ticket, because otherwise you cannot enter those venues. But yeah, so that's what I can offer. Join the competition and apply for the TRF fund when you are in Krakow to have some discount on your travel.
That's great advice. So Steemfest is a combination of serious talks and also having fun. What can crypto enthusiasts expect from the event, from the conferences?
So I think everybody who attends Steemfest is a crypto enthusiast, right? Because, well, you're blogging on the blockchain. By far most of the people who are coming are Steem users. What can they expect? Indeed, a mix of. I feel that organizing the event, or the event, has to be not only formal, or actually the whole event is not formal, but you could say that the conference event is more business thingy, and the evening activity is more, well, laid back. I feel that organizing an event, having these different atmospheres, makes for a great foundation to lay new relationships. Also the duration, because you are not just 2 days hasty just during the day and in the evening you go back to your hotel, because you also have these activities like a bowling night where you just do a small bowling competition, or you go on a boat trip together. All that really helps in, well, offering a relaxed atmosphere for creating these new relationships. They will just, well, flourish just by themselves, because, well, people are forced to spend the day together. But they're not really forced because they also want to. But no, but so Steemfest, the conference days gives a platform to all the people who would normally blog on Steemit, or so it's really diverse. When I originally started, I said the pitch was that Steemfest is just as diverse as the trending page of Steemit prior to the voting bots. Okay, so then it was really like a mix. You would have a crypto trader, you would have some chef who would share the recipes, some travel blog, a developer writing about the apps. So it really is as diverse as this. So yeah, obviously nowadays with DTube and with so that you have the whole YouTube community, people who are more into video. Well, there is, on the one hand, you have an anarchist who is presenting, who's totally against the state, but on the other hand, you have Sorin, who is working for the European Commission. So then you have the government who is presenting. It's super diverse. People from Steemit Incorporated are coming. A gazillion of people from who make apps are presenting their apps. Travel bloggers. Yeah, it's super diverse. So on one hand, there will be 2 tracks: the main stage and well, there's not a main stage. There are 2 stages. Simultaneously, everything will be live streamed. If you can't make it, you can check out the live stream. There's the breaks area, which this year is new, has like an expo. So there's like a presentation booth from all the decentralized apps on top of the blockchain. This year also new will be roundtable sessions where people can apply for hosting a session. So if you really want to go in depth with a smaller group of people about a certain topic, or maybe a speaker who has its speaking time on stage also wants to answer more in-depth questions afterwards, can book a table and host maybe an hour-long or 45-minute-long session. So those are new elements to the program. And yeah, but all in all, it's a diverse program, either talking about development, blogging, maybe tips how to make the best blog, super diverse. I recommend to check out steemfest.com, the speaker list, and every week on the announcements, 4 or more new speakers are added. That will happen until about 40, 45 speakers and performers.
Okay. And so how is this event different from the previous ones, aside from the obvious location change? But is there anything that you changed?
The temperature?
Yes.
Maybe, most probably. Let's see. Sometimes the weather can be very agreeable in the November in Krakow, but maybe the first snow would already be there. I don't think so. But yeah, so there are a couple of things different. Well, I already said most of them. It's that this year we have, well, Steem exists by virtue of all Steem exists by virtue of all the apps running on top of the blockchain. Not only Steemit.com, but also the, well, as I just said, all the video apps nowadays. Or Tasty, we have the question app, Music, Steem Plus, the add-on app. So obviously I want to give a lot of attention to all those apps being built on top of it. And many of the developers who made these apps are coming and they're presenting on stage, but they also have like a small booth in the breaks area. So that's new, that there is like, it's not a big expo with all these huge booths, but it's like roll-up banner per app. So that's new, that part. And then also the roundtable sessions is new, which I think I really enjoyed it when I was on the conference on the next web conference in April here in Amsterdam, and then I hosted one session talking about Steem. And it's just really nice that you have a way better conversation with 10 people or maybe 8 people, and you have a nice chat for an hour about one topic. It's really, it moves forward. You move forward and you get to know these people. So I really like that. What else is new? Well, last year we had this year what's new is that we have a Steemfest bowling event on the So I already recommend people to start forming teams. I think the teams will only be 3 people to keep it fit on the bowling alleys. We rented out the whole bowling venue with 15 lanes of bowling, and also there will be some music. But that will be new for sure. So at the end of the evening, there will be one team who will be the first annual Steemfest bowling competition winner. But for the rest, yeah, no, not so much new things, I think.
Okay. Is there anything that you learned from previous ones that you would do differently, that you said, okay, this didn't work?
Yeah. So I learned a lot from the first one. What I learned from the first one was actually the thing that people come into this new town they also want to see the town. So in the first one, the whole event, including the evening, was in one location. It was only one day of conference, and the evening event was in the same location. So people literally came at 8:30 in the morning, and I asked them to stay until 1 a.m. at night in this venue in the middle of Amsterdam, and many of the people had never been to Amsterdam. So what you saw was that people at 9 said, "Okay, let's go out." So I'm not going. I'm going. I've had enough of this venue. So then I really learned, and there was also feedback I got afterwards that people said it was too long at one point. So from that, I really took that I really want to more have the event itself also at various locations during the event. So both conference days are at different venues actually. Both there are about 10 venues which you will see just by attending the event.
Okay.
So that will keep it fresh also. I mean, you are literally forced to go from one location to the other, and then it's a new vibe everywhere. So if you didn't like the one venue, okay, don't worry, you won't come back there. The next one will be most probably better. So that's one thing. And the other thing I got from the first one was that it was too short. People actually complained that it was too short.
Okay.
I mean, so the first one had 3 drinks, 1 day of conference, and then 1 day of tourist activities. And literally at the end of that evening, people sat in the hotel room until the sun came up again. People ordered pizzas in the hotel lobby. They really overtook the hotel lobby. The night receptionist, they all went home, and they had to take away the table football, because people were football competitions. They had to take it away because it was disturbing. It was not that it was like a big party, but people just didn't want it to end. So they literally stayed. People didn't sleep overnight, and they left to the airport the next morning, and then the day after they sent a complaint that it was too short. So then I immediately envisioned, okay, we double the amount of days. I think now the 5 days is perfect. And you leave, it's like a mini vacation. And, yeah, so those are the big takes from the first edition.
Great. And what's personally your favorite part of Steemfest? All of it.
Well, I mean, for me, it's really rewarding. I really like to organize this event. So for me, it's already super cool now to see so many people buying a ticket and saying, first you get like a little bit of insecurity because you announce it, and then slowly you see 1, 2, 3 tickets coming in, and now because there will be a price hike coming up tomorrow, you see more and more people are buying tickets. So I slowly get the feeling, okay, we're going towards the levels of last year in terms of attendance. But first of all, it's rewarding to see that you're making this plan and thinking about, okay, let's do it this thing and going to this venue, and then you see people buying your plan, right? So I've been to Krakow now. So then the second thing what is rewarding is that you actually see it working. Because I've been to Krakow now, and I've seen all these venues empty. And then I envision, okay, so we do the breaks here, we do this funny thing here. And then I go to the bowling alley and meet with all these suppliers. And then actually seeing it coming together is really rewarding, and that it works and that people are having a good time. That's actually the most rewarding thing for me. Seeing that the smile on everybody's face at the closing dinner, me being tired as hell, because the whole thing for me is just, it's like a train. It starts, I will be about a week before the event in Krakow, doing the final preps over there and just in the city. So for me, then it's like boom, 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 until Monday, when I also leave the city again. Of course, then I will be also really happy, because then, okay, the job's done, just paying the final bills. But yeah, that's the most rewarding, is actually seeing all these people having a great time. That's the most enjoyable moment, I guess.
Yes. Well, I imagine it's a lot of work, huh? Doing something for so many people. It must not be easy. So.
Yeah, I don't want to shine too much light on it. As said, I want to keep it affordable, so I also try to keep the budgets low. So I still mainly do the pre-organization by myself. I do get input and help from others. Idea-wise, and for example, when I was in Krakow, I had help from Gandalf, who showed me around in the city and literally drove me around, and he is also from Poland, so he could help in his native tongue. During the event, there is a lot of help by the firepower volunteer crew, who helps welcoming everybody and check in everybody in the hotel. And but yeah, so it is quite some work. The first one, I lost 5 kilos.
Wow.
But the first one was really, everything was new. So
yeah.
So that also set the framework. Nowadays, I have the framework. Okay, I do every Friday an update. I already have the ticket shop. I have some scripts I can reuse. I have the mailing, the newsletter mail system. That all works. I have already a base of the mobile app, which was made by Good Karma 2 years ago. And I can now just update the code. Not everything has to be reinvented, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, of course, now this time I'm looking into how to organize a bowling competition for, who knows, 300 people and have it finished in 4 hours. So it's a new thing, but yeah, it's funny.
That's great. So do you see yourself doing this in the years to come, every year?
I sure hope so. I hope we can move forward with Steem and also keep on enabling this global meetup every year. But that said, yeah, of course, it is impossible to have everybody on the same, get everybody to come to every event. So also, therefore, the live stream is happening. Mm-hmm. But there, I also encourage other people, and there's already happening, right? Other people organizing other events. I mean, Steem Creators was 3 weeks ago in Toronto. As I said, you have the Steem Lagos events. They are, well, I really want to go there also once. But yeah, I would, if the blockchain permits, if people want me to, I will definitely try to organize it for the years to come, yes.
Great. So what would you tell people who are still kind of debating whether they should go or not?
Well, if you can afford it, I would say just take the leap and come to Krakow. You will surely, 100% guaranteed, I'm now a little bit confident, but that's just because I've seen the feedback from the past 2 years. And literally, that's also one part which is really rewarding. The days after the event, seeing the Steemfest tag being #1 trending and seeing all these people saying wow and sharing their experience, that's very rewarding. And well, that's what relating to that, if you can afford it, do take the leap, come to Krakow. You will really not regret it, and you will have a fantastic time. Just because of all the new people, you already know some of them through Steemit, or most of them you know them through Steemit. They will recognize you by your username, and you will just meet all these usernames. You normally see this small username on the screen, and then the person is standing in front of you, and you'll just have a great time. And the pierogi in Krakow is the best. The local dumplings.
And the bowling. The bowling event.
The weekend?
The bowling event.
Yeah, practice. bowling.
Exactly. Okay, thank you, Roland. This was it from me. Is there anything else you want to say, or are you good?
No, I think everything's been said. Yeah, no.
Okay.
Stay tuned, subscribe the newsletter, and upvote, like, and whatever they say every time.
And buy your ticket. Okay, great. Thank you. Yes, thank you very much for joining. And that's it. I wish you all the success for your event, and hopefully we'll meet there.
Yeah, thanks. See you in Krakow, everyone.
Okay,
Ciao.
bye.